Hello, I'm Denise Galoni. Welcome to today's episode of Empowering You. My guest today is Sandell Taylor. She is a local personality and a three-time reigning Mrs. Pennsylvania Galaxy. She's had a historic win as Mrs. US Galaxy 2024. I can't wait for you to meet her today.
It's gonna be better. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be better. Yeah. It's gonna be great. I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
My guest today is Sandell Taylor. Sandell's a three-time reigning Mrs. Pennsylvania Galaxy. She has ascended to new heights by winning the prestigious title of Mrs. US Galaxy 2024, solidifying her legacy as an advocate for heart health at any age and a role model for women across the nation. Sandell's journey towards the Mrs. US Galaxy title is nothing short of awe-inspiring. Her unwavering commitment to raise awareness about heart health at any age began after a life-altering experience when her father, a military veteran, suffered a heart attack and stroke. Additionally, Sandell herself was diagnosed with a heart condition, further fueling her dedication to this essential cause. Being a military spouse since 2015 has deeply connected Sandell to the armed forces community, and she has been an active volunteer with the Veterans Leadership Program for 9 years. Her altruism extends to various charitable organizations, including the American Heart Association, the Salvation Army, Dress for Success, local shelters, Children's Hospital, and so much more. Sandell's journey continues to inspire women nationwide. As Mrs. US Galaxy 2023, she now bears the responsibility of representing the United States on the international stage. Galaxy Missions emphasizes beauty, style, and cultural appreciation, aligning perfectly with Sandell's values and aspirations. Sandell remains dedicated to empowering women, fostering confidence and poise in an increasingly competitive world, and being a beacon of hope for our community and beyond. Sandell, I am so honored you're here with me today. Thank you so much.
I am so excited to be here. As I'm listening to you read my press release and announcement, I still get chills that you're actually talking about me. It's very humbling, and I'm just very blessed.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so much going on here, so much to unpack. So let's get started. So, and I see you're sitting there right now with your crown and your sash. And
Yep,
all the sashes
of
behind
course
you.
I had to bring it on. I had to bring the bling.
You have to bring the bling, right, definitely. So, Sandell, how did you get started with pageants?
Pageantry actually found me.
Okay.
In 2015, I married the love of my life, Kenneth Taylor. He's downstairs right now, keeping the kids occupied so that they don't bother me in my room.
That's a
And
hard job, I'm sure.
was just kind of out there in my community doing what I normally do, which is community service, getting involved. I started a free haircut program, and it led me to partner with Veterans Leadership Program. And pageantry actually found me. I got recruited by a director that was a part of the Mrs. America system. So if some of you guys might know that, it's actually one of the oldest systems for married women. And I started competing in the Mrs. America system in 2016. I competed for 3 years before capturing the title of Mrs. Pennsylvania America 2018. And it's kind of just been ever since then.
Right. Are you surprised? Like when you hear me read this, are you surprised and you think, and I sometimes when someone reads my bio, I'm like, wow, are they talking about me? It's kind of humbling.
It's very humbling. Sometimes I'm still shocked that I'm like, oh, wait, that's me. I'm like, I did all that. It's very humbling, because if you would have asked me 10 years ago if I would see myself on a stage in a pageant, I probably would have told you no.
Right.
10 years ago, I wasn't married. I was a very young adult who had a child at 19. And at that point, when my son was born in 2007, there really weren't pageants out there for single moms that had kids. Typically in the MISS division, which is the Ms., you typically have to be single without a kid. And nowadays that's totally changed.
Hell, it would have
Now
to.
even Miss Universe is accepting married women. So you just never know. But I think I found my system, because I really love the owners of the Galaxy pageant. The first day that I actually got to talk with the owner and CEO, I knew that I found the right place. So you might not see me on the universe stage, but you're definitely going to see me rocking the Galaxy stage this August
Yes.
and taking it off by storm. So it's just been a really crazy, wonderful journey. And I'm just really honored to be representing 330 million people in the United States. It's a big responsibility.
It really is. And I mentioned this is a historic win for you.
Right.
Yes.
It's
And you were talking to
it's
me
crazy.
before we started. Yeah, it's crazy. Can you explain why it's historic? Because it's an amazing story.
So it's a historic win for many reasons. So the first and foremost is I am the first woman from Pennsylvania to represent the Pennsylvania Galaxy system since 2009. So when I first represented Pennsylvania, it was in 2020, and there wasn't a Mrs. Pennsylvania since 2009, and she's actually coming back now as the current Mrs. Pennsylvania. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
And I represented Pennsylvania for 3 years in a row for 2020, 2021, I'm sorry, 2021, 2022, and 2023. And I was the first woman ever in the state of Pennsylvania to do that. I was so honored and excited the first year I actually got to the international pageant, which was in 2022. Due to the pandemic, our director wanted to make sure that every delegate could come and every delegate was safe. So there was no national pageant in 2021. I was honored to place top 8 in the Mrs. division. So I was like, all right, let's give this one more try. And
Yeah.
I went back as Mrs. Pennsylvania 2023. And I was blessed to place top 4 in the married women division last year. And I was shocked. They called my name last in top 8. I did not think it was going to be me being called in that top 8. And then when they called my name for top 4, it was like pinch me. And so it's been an honor and a journey. And then I'm also now the very first woman in the state of Pennsylvania to have the title of Mrs. US Galaxy. And it's the first time in 5 years that this title has actually been given out. So what that means is you can't buy this title. It's not an at-large title that someone from the outside could actually purchase. It has to be given to you. The director of the Galaxy pageant system, her name is Maria Torres. Her and her staff members, Crystal Cavey and Michelle Villanueva, actually got together and had a discussion about if they wanted to present women from different divisions the U.S. title in honor of their hard work and dedication to the system. And then there were 3 women selected. I have a little queen. She's not really little, but she's a teen US Galaxy. And we might have another queen she has yet to announce, so I don't want to spoil her secret. And then I was the nominee for the married division. So I have the honor and pleasure of being your Mrs. US Galaxy for 2024.
Oh, congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you. It's still a little unreal. I look back at my Pennsylvania sash that I've had now for 3 years, and it's dirty and it's missing some rhinestones, and I'm like, oh, I have a new one now, and it's very surreal to have this and wear the U.S. on my chest.
Yeah.
It's an honor and a privilege, and so I'm going out there and trying to represent as best as I can.
And it has to be an honor having your father that was in the military, being married to someone in the military. That has to be an honor for you.
It truly is. I have a lot of family members who have been in and out and served in the military, as well as a lot of family friends. One of my really good friends was just up from Texas to come and visit me. And her husband actually just retired from the military as well. So I call her my military spouse partners.
Yes.
So it's just been really a blessing to be able to contribute a lot of personal aspects in my life into pageantry. And now it's growing even more into my platform and my passion. And this year, my platform has grown by leaps and bounds, and I've even made a few changes.
So, and I did ask, ladies, she does get to keep the crowns and the sashes.
Yes. And they're going to be coming to your event too for the Queendom event. You guys are going to be seeing these crowns there. So come and try them on.
Oh, I definitely will be doing that and taking pictures once it's on.
Of course. That's the best part.
Of course, of course. So you talk about all the volunteer and the charity work that you do. Sandel, what got you involved with doing the volunteer work? Because I know you have children, you're married, the pageantry, Mrs. US Galaxy. How do you have time to fit it all in?
So I always like to tell the story of how I got started getting involved with the
Yes,
community service.
yes.
And it goes back to an unfortunate event, which I call for me my ripple effect. So when I was 19, unfortunately, I was a victim of domestic violence and I chose to leave my current partner and flee. And I felt really unsafe being in the area that we were from.
Mhm.
So I chose not to stay with my mom and I chose to keep myself and my son safe. Unfortunately, with making that decision, it left me couch surfing from friend's house to friend's house for a little while. And whenever I decided that, I felt a little bit more kind of at ease, I really wanted to get us into stable housing and get myself back into a stable community and a stable job. And so I myself went through some of these programs. I went through the Learn to Earn, which is Childcare for Works now, where I was able to go and get help building my resume and get childcare so that I could actually apply for jobs. I went through the Dress for Success program to get an interview outfit because when I left, um, due to the situation, I had a very small car. I had a Chevy Camaro convertible. So I want you to imagine that. I want you to picture
Yeah,
a Chevy Camaro convertible. It's really small. If you don't know, it has a tiny trunk. And
right.
mind you, I also had an infant car seat. So I wanted to make sure I had my infant car seat, my
Yeah,
pack and play, all the things that I 100% needed for my child, because that was my
sure.
focus, his formula, diapers, wipes and stuff. So I took very little of my things because I just knew I needed to get out. And I just knew that if I didn't get out, it could have gone a lot worse. And going through those programs helped me get to where I am today. It's actually part of the reason why I was able to meet my now husband. And I feel like it's because I have such a blessing of my husband and my family, my mom, my stepdad, really good friends of mine that have helped me on this journey, and my pageant sisters. A lot of people think of pageantry just in terms of looking pretty and looking nice. But in reality, it's really truly a sisterhood of phenomenal women. I've been on stage with a housewife, a doctor, a lawyer, a neuroscience, a tax attorney. You name it, I've probably met the most amazing women in the world. And if you put a call to action out, I feel like it's the movie Legally Blonde where they're phone calling and you're like,
Yeah, yeah.
calling all queens, and that's really how it is. And with the Galaxy system, it's so much more than that. I'm going out to Wisconsin in April and I'm going to get together with these girls, but we talk, on the phone, we talk on Zoom like this. And
Mhm.
it really truly is a true sisterhood. It's not like what you see on TV. It's
And that's what
not,
I would think, right? From the
it,
outside looking in, that it's competitive, just like you see like in the movies and everything else on TV. And it's not like that at all.
you're not competing with the other women, and that's one of the hardest things I think that's hard to explain as a contender,
Right.
because at the end of the day you sit with the judges for whatever the time frame is. So for the Galaxy pageant system, it's a 4-minute interview and it's panel style. So you sit in a room and all the judges are in front of you, some of them are on Zoom, and you talk to them for 4 minutes, and then you yourself are on stage competing in the on stage portion of the elements. So for our system, again, I'm talking about my system because that's the system
Sure.
I'm in. We have
Right, right,
fashion
right, right.
wear, we do have swimsuit, and we have evening gown. But it's not about the body in swimsuit. It's about your confidence. It's about how do you feel in that swimsuit? What are you giving off energy wise? Same thing with the fashion wear and the gown. It's not about what you're wearing. It's about how do you feel and how you exude confidence in that gown and that fashion wear. And that's what I love about my system is that 50% of it is interview. I'm sorry, I think it's 30% of it is interview, and some of it is stage. So it's the highest interview is the highest weight. So on
Okay.
that day, you tell the judges, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. This is what I want to do. And if the judges think that you're the best for that role, just like any other job, you get the job. It's that simple. There's nothing else that you can do but control who you are in that. And I think that's probably the best way I can explain it to somebody from the outside. It's really not about who else is on that stage, because trust me, any single woman on that stage will make a phenomenal queen, because these women are fierce, they are elegant, they are poised, and these women all have something to give.
Right. That's wonderful to hear, because then looking from the outside in, that's not how we perceive it. So that's great. I wonder if that has changed over the decades.
You know, honestly, I can't answer that. I've only ever
Right,
competed as a married woman,
right, right.
and I've only ever competed in 3 systems. So the very first system I ever competed in was Mrs. Pennsylvania American Beauty. It was my very first ever pageant. I was first runner up and I won interview, and I had a great time. I still talk to some of those queens today. The second system I competed in was the Mrs. America system. I had a great time going to Mrs. America. I actually competed in their sister system, which is the Mrs. World system. I represented my dad as Mrs. Germany World in 2020, and I had a fantastic time there.
Mm.
I truly have had a really great pageant journey. And, you know, I think it's just because of the women that I choose to surround myself
Right,
with,
right,
and
right.
the women who choose to surround them with me. And like I said, these are really phenomenal women. You know, one of my good friends I still talk to is from the Mrs. America system. We were sister queens in 2018. She lives in Maryland. She knows who you are. So, hey, girl, she was my roomie. But we still talk all the time. And that just goes to show you that, you know, it really does make a difference.
So I mentioned about your father having the heart issues, and then so you're really big on heart health.
I am.
Yeah.
I
And
am.
that's one of your passions.
It's a huge component of my platform. So my platform for 2024 has actually grown. So my platform actually started off at Heart Health as Heart Health for Any Age. I was focusing on CPR education, Healthy for Life facility, which is talking about like how tips and tricks you can be to be heart healthy, and empowered to serve education, which is how I can empower you to also serve your community by either becoming a CPR instructor or a Healthy for Life instructor. But I realized that I'm so much more than just heart health. And so I needed to find other ways to keep my dad and what I find important, not only to me, because I also suffer from heart health, but also to encompass everything else that I do. So for my platform now is called Connecting Hearts, Changing Lives. And it's really about giving back to those who don't feel worthy. So those who've suffered from a heart attack and stroke, showing them that they are still worthy, whatever that may
Yeah,
be, by taking a
yeah.
blessing bag, by simply saying hello, by telling them, you know, I am here and I'm supporting you and I'm beside you in this journey because I have relatives to that. I work with a lot of the unhoused community, the homeless community, those that are forgotten, and especially our US veterans right now are so dire in need. So I work with men and women all day who feel unworthy or who feel less than. They feel that they don't deserve to have nice clothes or nice hair,
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
they feel that, you know, they're just down on their luck. And so I realized with my community service that I've been doing for the past 17 years is that I was more than just heart health. I always say I'm a gatherer of things, a gatherer of people. You know, you give me an event and you say, I need this, this, and this. And I'm like, all right, I got a girl for that. I got a guy for that. I got a girl for this. And then we come together collectively and we bring the items that are in need. Socks, blankets, and, you know, hygiene items are my top 3 things. And then the last thing that I do for my own thing is called Skills for Good. So for me, it's all about, what do you have as a skill, whatever that may be? Maybe it's talking. For me, it's haircuts. I'm a cosmetologist by trade,
Yes,
so I
yes,
give
we didn't even
free
mention
haircuts.
that. Yes.
Yeah, so I give free haircuts to people that are in need, whether it's just because you're, again, struggling, you have an interview coming up, or, you know, maybe you're just down on your luck. You know, a free haircut can really make or break somebody. And
Oh,
in
yeah.
the eyes of employment, it can actually create that change to get you the job.
Sure. Boost your confidence, right.
Absolutely.
Sandell, you have so much volunteering, so much going on. So what's next for Sandell Taylor?
The next 5 years, I'm planning on opening up my free haircut truck. I'm actually in the
Oh,
market for a traveling van right now. I've been searching and searching and searching, and I haven't quite found the right one.
mhm.
But I want to open up my free haircut truck where I'm going to also have some hygiene items, and then clients can come in. When I say client, I like to just say the word client. Anybody can really come in And let's say it's you and you say, hey, you know what, Sandell, as I'm, trimming your hair, I have this interview coming up and I don't have anything to wear. And I'll say, okay, well, what size interview outfit do you need? And then, I'll make that happen with the connections and the ability that I've been able to connect with women like yourself, where I know I could say,
Right.
hey, do you have this interview outfit? Can I get it for a day? I have a client who needs it, or
Oh,
I
absolutely.
have a person who needs it. To me, that's really where my passion is calling. And I'm also going to be traveling. So I'm doing a US media tour. I've already gone to 7 states as Mrs. US Galaxy, and I'm hoping to get to 12. I'm also traveling to Canada and Mexico, because they are our sister nations, as I
Mhm.
call them. And, hopefully I can get a little bit out of the US, but, we got to talk to the hubby on that one. But really just focusing on family, love, connections, and my goal for 2024 is worthiness, showing people that you are worthy. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of compassion. You are worthy of confidence. That's really what 2024 is bringing for me.
Wow. And then we have August 14th through the 18th in Orlando, Florida. You could drive there to go support Sandell, the Galaxy International Pageant.
Oh my God. Let's talk about this,
Yes,
Orlando.
yes.
Okay. We were at Orlando last year, and let me tell you, the venue is insane. The pool is gorgeous. Let's talk about also being surrounded by 60 plus women from all across the world. If you want to talk about empowering, this is the place that you need to be.
Absolutely.
An excuse to go to Orlando in the middle of August, I don't know, but it's right before back to school season. So my moms, we can come on out. I'm really excited. There is talks. It's just a little tidbit out there. Our CEO, again, Maria Torres, kind of posted a potential of going to Puerto Rico for next year. But this year, Orlando, August 14th through the 18th, the 17th is going to be the actual, the Saturday is going to be the actual pageant. So please, if you want to drive from Pittsburgh, it's not far. Come
Not
on.
far.
But it's also a really cheap flight if you go Southwest. It's like $59. You can find
It
really
is.
good flights.
It
Um,
is.
if you're a Southwest fan like me,
Yeah,
because you
me
get 2
too.
bags free. So, you gotta always you gotta always think like that when you're a mom and when you're, trying to fit in your family and your lifestyle and keep everything kind of, simplistic and in nature. And, I want as many people to come as possible. I want them to see these women. I want them to be inspired by them like I am. And you never know. I want people to try a pageant. Try a pageant. It's so much fun. It'll
Yeah.
change your life.
So, any final thoughts for someone that's watching and hearing this interview?
Final thoughts is just go out, be great every day. Whatever that greatness looks like to you, just get up and be great. And sometimes that's all it takes is just get up, go out, be kind, be humble, and just say hello to everyone you meet. And that's really, really it. And follow me on social media. I guess I should say that too.
Well, yeah, and we'll have that in the show too. But they can follow you on Facebook and Instagram and follow you definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Sandell, I mean, this show is called Empowering You, and I can't think of anyone that empowers people more than you. I mean, going at all your nonprofit work and just your confidence in trying to empower others with the free haircuts and the heart health and everything else. What can we do to help you with your mission?
Anybody who wants to help donate to my pageantry journey is more than welcome. My pageant journey, I have absolutely no sponsorship. This is all personally funded, so any donation is worth it. If you want to get involved in one of my campaigns, if you can't physically donate money, I am always collecting items for those in needs. Right now, I'm collecting feminine hygiene items. So anything from tampons to shampoo to conditioner, that's what I'm going to be collecting here. And hopefully getting that down to the Veterans Leadership Program within the next couple months. So reach out to me if you want to donate. I take donations every single day, and I can either come to you or you can bring them to me.
Yeah. And you're local to the area, local to Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm 10 minutes outside the city. So, but with work and, my house isn't that far away either. So we'll make it work. We'll find a
make it
meeting
work.
spot.
Yeah. Sandell, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your
Thank you.
story and just everything that you do.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a blast. I love talking. Hopefully I'm inspiring others as well.
Yeah. And I can't wait to meet you in a few weeks.
I know. I'm so excited. I can't wait for you to try on this crown.
Me neither.
It's gonna be great.
Thank you for watching today's episode of Empowering You. I'd like to thank my guest, Sandell Taylor, the current Mrs. US Galaxy 2024. It was such an empowering interview. With everything Sandell does, her volunteer work, her charitable donations, and her whole personality, I hope she inspired and empowered you to live your best life. Thank you for watching and see you next time.
It's gonna